Hello and welcome to Talking Game, and it's a preview of West Bromwich Albion versus West Ham United. The Hammers will be travelling to the Hawthorns, having won their last two visits there, hoping for a ground with policing, segregation and some competent stewards. I'm here with Charlie and Scott, and we're here to discuss what we expect from the 90 minutes against West Brom. Charlie, what's your thoughts on West Brom?
I'm surprised Pulis is still there. I'm surprised they put up with him for as long as they have done. We saw at Stoke that when he gets results like Allardyce in that sense, he just drags them out whatever possible. But I don't really see anything that's that positive about them. They got Nasser Chadli in the window, who I really rate. Apart from that, I can't see them pulling up any sort of trees in the Premier League this season.
Scott, you're going to the game on Saturday. It's been a while since you've been on our show, so welcome back. What's your thoughts on West Brom?
I think it's poor. I went to the West Brom game last year, and that was poor. I agree with Charlie. I think he's another Allardyce. He'll do a job for you, and you'll like him while he's doing that job of kicking you or keeping you in the division, or kicking you out of a division and going up one. But as soon as he's done that job, he's never going to play football, and they're frustrated with him. They're poor.
Firstly, I would like to apologise if any West Brom fans watching this. What I'm about to say does not reflect my opinion on your club. It reflects my opinion of your manager. I cannot stand him. I hate him more than Allardyce 10 times over. Allardyce has a little bit of bollocks. He went to Sunderland when they looked favourites to go down. He risked his CV. Pulis, as soon as a little threat of relegation, he's gone. You won't see him for dust, and he'll be gone from West Brom. If we lose on Saturday, I wouldn't be surprised if he's considering handing his resignation in, because as soon as the going gets tough, he is off ski. He doesn't hang about at all. He needs a load of cash just to do a very average job. At Stoke, he got money thrown at him season after season. He was spending 10, 12 million on players who were average. They were average at best. Sometimes it would be a little bit better than average. And he doesn't have it at West Brom. He's not going to cope. He's not going to last. I'll be very surprised if he's there come the end of the season. And unfortunately for West Brom fans, I'll be surprised if you stay up, if he does stay. However, you've got some good players. Charlie Rondon, is he the danger man? He scored 3 of West Brom's last 4 Premier League goals.
I think Rondon is probably their standout player. Like I said, I don't know who's fit and who's not for the match. But someone like, I think the key to them making any sort of steps above just relegation candidates is getting the likes of Rondon firing, of getting Chadli going. You know, someone like Matt Phillips, who again, someone who they brought in. I really like him, but there's no consistency to his game at all. If they can find some consistency and unlock that potential he has, that's going to be important for them. But going up there, my worry is looking squarely at Rondon and Berahino. If he decides to turn up for once, who knows if he will or won't. That's the sort of player he is. But those are the people I'm staring at and worrying about.
This season, West Brom's results so far is they won the opening fixture away to Crystal Palace 1-0. Yawn, surprise. They then lost 2-1 at home to Everton. They then drew 0-0 at home to Middlesbrough. Yawn, surprise. And then their last game of the weekend, they just got beat 1-0 away to Bournemouth. Yawn, surprise. Scott, they've actually won just 1 of their last 13 Premier League games, and they've only scored 6 goals in that 13. But is this a fixture Pulis is going to be looking at our form and thinking this is a winnable fixture for West Brom?
I think, yeah. It depends which half he watched. If he watched the first half, the first sort of 20 minutes, he knows what we're capable of. He only has one style. He'll approach that game the way that he approaches every game. He hasn't got a plan B. I'll be really disappointed if we don't win this one. They are terrible. I can't say. I agree with you. They're going down, and it's a shame. It's a nice club, decent fans when we were there last year, and it's a shame. They need to get rid as quick as possible. He hasn't got a plan B. Every game he'll approach exactly the same.
Neck on the line time, lads, before we move on. Scott, very, very quickly, will West Brom get relegated?
Definitely.
Charlie, same question.
Unfortunately, I think Pulis will continue to do a job and just about keep them up.
I think they'll just stay up, but I don't think it'll be because of. I think it'll be because of Pulis leaving. I think they might just stay up. The man in the middle at the Hawthorns is the man that everyone in the Premier League loves to hate. He is the pantomime victim. It's Mark Clattenburg, who just refereed the Manchester Derby. In case you're wondering what his last game was, West Ham had him 3 times last season. We drew 2-2 at home to Crystal Palace. There was a red card. We lost 1-0 away to Southampton. There was a red card, and we won 3-1 at Crystal Palace. There was a red card. So every game West Ham had him last season, he sent someone off. West Brom, however, they had him 4 times. They drew 1-1 away to Bournemouth. They drew 2-2 away to Leicester. They beat Arsenal 2-1 at home, and they lost 3-2 on opening day or very early in the season at home to Chelsea. So funny that whenever Clattenburg's in charge of West Brom, both teams score, something that doesn't happen very frequently with Pulis there. Scott, our last 11 Premier League games against West Brom, we've won 3, drawn 7, and lost just 1. Does that install even more confidence in you?
No, I don't. Them stats have gone. Whatever happened in the past has happened. We've got a decent side. I saw you on Twitter on the Hammer Chat saying about changing teams and whatever. We've got a team that can go there, and we've got a team that can beat anybody on our day. As long as we stick together and as long as we graft. That's what we need to do there. We're going to have to graft and put pressure on them. Last year when we was there, the fans didn't like it. They start getting on the back very quickly. That's what we need to do. Get the fans on the back.
Well, Scott, talk about changes. Come on then. The back 5, we've just conceded 4 to Watford. Are you making any changes in that back 5, and what changes?
I'll be upfront with you. I tweeted to you before, no changes. I think if you start changing people, you get people's confidence going down. It happens. I know probably people are going to be watching this. Oh, Scott, what are you on about? Even Noble can stay in. That's how compassionate I am. It happens. We got our pants pulled down. We got our backside slapped. It happens. It's not the first time it's happened. It's not going to be the last time. We put them players in, and fair enough, if they're cocking up next time, change them. But there's no need for a change. Exactly the same side.
Interesting. Charlie, do you agree with Scott, or are you disagreeing with Scott?
Strangely, I'm actually going to agree. I think if it was a team I was more afraid of, I would put Nordvi in for Kiate, because I just extra defensive stability basically, and I'm one of the few people at West Ham who rate him. But I think for me, that team, the word Scott used before, graft, was the important one. After about 30-something minutes, whatever happened to that team, everything, their concentrations went, they couldn't do anything together. They just looked like a team that were already defeated, even though we were still 2-1 up at that sort of point in time. I think for me, the one change I would consider making would be bringing Randolph in for Adrian. But even then, I think I'm not someone who likes to see them sort of taught a lesson by having to play against Accrington Stanley, and he's already made the comment about Randolph playing in all the cup games. So for me personally, I would keep it the same, on the understanding with all the players that if they don't get a result, then people are going to start getting ruthlessly cut. And Bilic, let's be honest, has a reputation of ruthlessly cutting people with people he's done in the past. So that's how I would play it out, but I don't know I can't predict it right now.
You two are saying to give them a warning. I think actions speak louder than words. Use that watching. Let us know who you agree with. Scott and Charlie are saying keep it the same. I'm away to give you a whole heap of changes I would make, and I'm probably going to make myself very unpopular. I don't really care. What we seen on Saturday was very, very poor. And you two are saying we're missing Graf. We're not just missing Graf. We're missing actual bollocks in the middle of the pitch. We barely put a tackle in against Watford. It was shocking. At one point, Pereira just walked through our defence. Well, basically stood and watched him just come through his bed. If you go watch I watched the goals back. Their fourth goal, I know you could say the game was lost already. One of their players had the ball. I think it was a Gallo. 3 of our players were standing around him, just watching him. And he laid it off the guy, and he shot and scored. It was shocking. And now the person I'm going to pick out, funny enough, I didn't know Charlie was going to pick him out, and this is what's going to make him popular. I think Chekriai needs to be either dropped or moved into centre defence. He's not a centre midfielder. He cannot pass the ball. Some people privately they've been saying you can't drop checks. I say, what does he actually bring to the table? They say, oh, he runs. So I say, what else? He runs. Okay, Mo Farah runs. Are we going to play him centre midfield? No, we are not. He's a centre midfielder. He can't pass. He's a huge lad, but I've yet to see him bully an opponent. His tackling is hit and miss. When was the last time he actually had a good game? You guys at home have got the Google in front of you. You can Google it yourself. Have a look up his stats or something. When was the last time Czech Kiati actually put in an 8 out of 10 performance? And you're not allowed to use Domzali at home in Europa League, because I could have had a good game against Domzali at home in the Europa League. Our centre backs need change. Now, whether you put Czech in there with Ogbonna or you put Reid or Collins, preferably not Collins, but Ogbonna needs to start. Why he didn't start, I do not know. It's shocking, and I actually think, I'm starting to think there's something going on with Ogbonna, because last season he was by far our best centre back. All of a sudden, he's benched. And I just don't get it. Was Ogbonna wanting to go to Chelsea and hoping Conte came in? I don't know. Was he wanting a new contract? Antonio got one, Creswell got one, Burks got one. Was Ogbonna thinking, where's mine? I've had a really good season. Or maybe he got one and rejected it. We don't know what's going on about. I'm just speculating. But I think there's more to it than meets the eye. I really do. I just don't get why Bilic is not playing Ogbonna. And finally, the keeper. I would be changing our keeper as well. If you've been watching us for a long time, since about Christmas, I've been saying Randall's my preferred goalie. I'm not going to change on that one. Adrian coming for the same ball as Collins, it didn't actually surprise me, unfortunately, on Saturday. It's just the type of keeper he is. He makes me panic every time the ball goes near him. Keepers should not do that. I'd keep the front four the same. And I know you're saying, who replaces Czech? Well, actually, I wouldn't mind seeing Lanzini play centre midfield. Football is changing. Football is evolving. All you have to do is look at Man City. They've got David Silva in there, pulling strings with Fernandinho next to him, working his nuts off, covering him. At Arsenal, you've got Cazorla sitting in there, pulling the strings. I would like to see Lanzini sitting in there, pulling the strings. What we're missing is a link between our defence, our back four, and our two deep midfielders and their attack. There's something missing. The passes just aren't happening properly. So I would like to see Lanzini drop back. Now, Scott, you're shaking your head. No, I'm going to let you comment on my wild predictions.
The Adrian bit I don't get. Well, I mean, he's a class keeper. Fair enough. The Collins one, yeah, he could have shouted. Collins could have shouted. It happens. It happens. How many times has he bailed us out? How many saves has he done? How many points has he got us? I'll tell you something, there are people at our club, you know I'm not an Andy Carroll fan, you know, he doesn't score any goals, he's a striker, that's his job, you know what I mean? It's like a plumber not fixing leaks. That's Andy Carroll, he's a plumber that doesn't fix leaks. Now, he's all stardom at West Ham. Our goalkeeper has saved us more points than Andy Carroll's won us. So why would you change him? I don't get why you would change. Our replacement goalkeeper is also a fantastic goalkeeper. So if he was brought in, yeah, fair enough, brought in on merit, but not because of two mistakes that he's made.
But he is getting brought in on merit as well as the mistakes. He's not getting brought in because Adrian's made a mistake. He's getting brought in because, as you've just said, he's a fantastic keeper. Mm-hmm. That's why he's getting brought in. And I think there was debate for dropping him before the Watford game anyway, not so much because of what Adrian's done, just because Randolph is that good a keeper, he could arguably be our number one. Now, it happens all over the pitch. If let's say our centre-backs change this Saturday, which we're probably expecting them to after the conceding 4, why can you change your defenders but not your keeper if you've conceded 4? I mean, some of those shots that Watford had, Adrian should be saving them. It wasn't just the Collins one. Their last one as well was right at him. It wasn't even powerful. I don't know what he was doing. Why? He could have saved it with his foot. But no, Adrian decides to go for the camera save as always, and he's messed it up. And it's not just, I know he saved us a lot of points. He is a good shot stopper. But what keeper isn't a good shot stopper? It's like saying a defender's good at tackling or a striker is good at hitting the target with shots.
I think the difference is I don't like using the word shot stopper because you're right. Every goalkeeper should be. If you're not stopping shots as a goalkeeper, what are you actually doing? Like, are you Claudio Bravo? What are you actually doing? You're just passing the ball at that point, right? But what I would say about Adrian is I think his reflexes are better than than Randolph's, in the sense that Randolph, I think from a West Ham perspective, I think he's had easier games by and large to play. I think in some of the big games, you have seen it reminds me a little bit of that Rob Green. I know we go on about it a lot as West Ham fans, but that Rob Green performance at the Emirates. in whenever it was, 2006, 2007, whatever it was, when there's just nothing was passing him. And I think in a lot of the big games against like the likes of Manchester United and people like that, Adrian has made some unbelievable saves. Now, he makes a lot of the easy saves look unbelievable because that's just the sort of acrobatic, over-the-top goalkeeper he is. But I would say if he was facing a top-class striker, like say Zlatan was shooting at him, I would be more confident that Adrian would save it than I would Randolph. But Randolph does. Why I said I would possibly drop him is because Randolph is just more dependable in that he just won't do something crazy. I think he would have been yelling at Collins in that situation, just screaming his head off. I think he would have done that better than Adrian did. And that's possibly why I would change him, because to be frank about it, and again, you've said it already, I don't want to offend West Brom fans when I say this, but they've not got Zlatan up front. They've got Rondon and a guy who can't play, so he complains about it on Twitter. So, like, I'm not that afraid. But I think it's a really difficult one because I do trust Adrian's reflexes more than I trust Randolph's.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up on the goalie there. We could probably talk about for half an hour about this, but you guys let us know at home in the comments below, or you come on to our forum at hammerschat.com and join in the goalkeeping debate. All I will finally say, I wouldn't have last word on this, is Randall's distribution is a lot better. There was too many times on Saturday. Adrian, the opportunity is there to take a quick free kick or a quick goal kick, but he doesn't take it. He likes to hold the ball, put it down slowly, pace back, move everyone up. And he boots it down the middle to Zaza. Now, no offence, it's the first time I see Zaza, but I didn't see him win a header once. And who's next to Zaza? Lanzini. Oh, because he's going to win it in the air. You know, he's just hoofing it. He's giving away possession from goal kicks and free kicks. It's too cheap to give away possession like that these days. You should be playing it short, regardless of who you're playing. You should be trying to play it short. Okay, if they're boxing you in, you're going to have to do it. But at least kick it out to Antonio, who's actually got a chance in the air. Stop booting it down the middle of the park and just getting rid of possession. Our goal kicks were almost just giving the ball to the opposition. I'm getting fed up watching it, to be honest. That's all. But Charlie, is this game a must-win?
Yes, and I think it's a will win. If this was at home, we've brought it up before, or I think you have specifically, about the idea of he's playing at the Olympic Stadium, London Stadium, a neutral or even an away venue. And I think at the moment it is. I think that there's this atmosphere. There was the atmosphere. I preface this with I was at home watching the match, but from over television it sounded really good at 2-0. It sounded better than I had heard it previously. And then as soon as that first goal went in, from watching it on television and watching Gonzo's match experience that's on our channel, it sounded like all of a sudden it went. And I think at home there's this really nervous atmosphere, this really sort of almost toxic a little way, but really scared that as soon as they score, as soon as something bad happens, then it's all kicking off. People are getting kicked out, whatever's happening. And I don't think that's helpful. I think away, West Ham fans consistently are some of the best away fans in the league just for noise levels. And I think that we know a lot of people who have said they don't want to go to home matches anymore. They want to just go to away matches. And those are the sort of people who will stick behind the team. And I think we're going to put in a good performance against West Brom. And I think that those people, away fans, will be vital to that.
Scott, if we lose, are you going to hit the panic button? Because we'll only have 3 points after 5 games and we'll be away to play Southampton at home in front of that crowd, which could be even edgier if we lose. Or are you quite confident that there's loads and loads of the season left, we'll get the points and we'll still finish 7th or wherever it is?
No, I don't think we'll finish 7th. I don't think we'll have as good a season as last year. But no, I don't panic. There's no panic button. We're not going down. I think people forget sometimes. How long ago is it since we were a Championship club? And we've gone on from there, and we're building it slowly. And all of a sudden, people think that we're a top 4 club. We're not. We never will be doing that. In the next couple of years, we won't be doing that. We're adding players and putting them together. Now, I agree with Charlie. I'm the kind of fan that likes going up to the away games because it's a different kind of fan. And I think the players will react to that when they go to West Brom. There's nobody getting on the back. There's none of this shouting and being negative around it. They'll go there, they'll do the job. And if they don't, it's no big deal.
On Saturday, all I'll say is on Saturday, I don't think anything was directed at the players. I think it was directed at the stewards. I mean, I heard someone say we were booing the players. We didn't boo the players. Karen Brady came on the big screen and people were booing Karen Brady. They weren't, but obviously if you couldn't see her on the big screen, you're watching it, you're probably thinking we're booing the team. We weren't booing the team. People were booing Karen Brady. They weren't booing what was happening on the pitch. And it kicked off at 2-1, I think, in the crowd, because when they scored, a lot more people sat down. But by at this point, everyone was up singing about Payet, blah, blah, blah. And it was really noisy. It was the best I've heard it in that ground easily. It was enjoyable. You were thinking, this is it. This is what the stadium's built for. But then when they made it 2-1, a lot of people sat down. The stewards waded in, unfortunately. It was just, and it just kicked things off. And then there was a Watford fan behind us as well that decided to make himself known as a Watford fan, and that didn't help matters. But I don't think the fans were getting on the players' back that much on Saturday, personally. I could be different. People watching at home might think different as well. You can let us know. But make sure you subscribe. It's almost prediction time for these two. We want to know your predictions as well. So make sure you comment below and comment to our forum at housechat.com. Also, keep your eyes out, because we have a YouTube sponsor to get announced. It should be getting announced maybe just after Watford, after the West Brom game. There has been one or two clues in this video if you've been watching properly. But Charlie, prediction time.
I think it's going to be a 1-0 win to West Ham.
1-0 for West Ham. Another yawn-boarding game for West Brom fans, unfortunately, but that's what Pulis gets you. Scott, what's your prediction?
2-0.
I'm going with Scott, 2-0. Despite everything going on, we've got 3 West Ham fans, all predicting 3 victories. Let us know what you think. Thank you for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. Share the video if you're being kind. And make sure you subscribe. We've been Hammers Chat. Thank you very much.